Hello and welcome to today's practice. Today's practice is called Energize, and we'll focus on a series of poses and movements that help to break through that static, heavy quality that we sometimes find we're experiencing in the body or the mind. So, times when we feel mentally foggy or unclear thinking, low motivation. So for today's practice, we're going to begin in crocodile pose. So if you like, you could place a very low blanket across the center of your mat to support your hip bones, and the blocks can go toward the front short side. Although you may want to take them to the front short side and just kind of slide them out just a bit. And then you're going to come down, stacking your palms and resting your forehead on your stacked palms. We're going to bend the knees so that the heels come in toward the buttocks. And then sway the legs from side to side in the windshield wiper motion. Feeling the movement of your bones through space. And how that gentle movement impacts the various muscles in the region around the pelvis, outer hips, low back. You can let your tops of your feet eventually make their way down to the floor. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and as you're exhaling, sigh the breath out through the mouth. One more time, breathe in. And sigh it out. I'm going to stay in this crocodile position, but we're going to flip the feet so that the balls of the feet are pressing into the floor, like you would do for plank pose. So curling those toes so that you can press the balls of the feet into the mat, press the toes into the mat, and you're going to start to lift your knees away from the floor. So your upper body is in crocodile, but the lower body resembles more like a plank pose. Feel the muscles of your legs become active, so they're hugging inward toward your bones. This movement, although gentle, begins to initiate the building of heat in the body. Take another inhale, holding the position one more exhale. Untucking the toes, tops of the feet coming down to the floor. Slide your hands under your low chest and give your body a press upward toward table. Adjusting the body so that the knees land on the blanket support. And we'll flow through a few cat-cow. Breathe in, start to let the belly release down toward the mat. As you exhale, press your hands in round through your spine. Inhale, release the belly down to the floor. Lift up through the heart. As you exhale, press your hands into the mat and round through your spine. One more time. Inhale, release the belly down toward the mat. Lift up through the heart, cow tilt. Exhale, press the hands and round through the spine. Inhale, come to neutral. Take the knees just a bit wider, slide your big toes close, and then send your sitting bones back into child's pose, extended child's pose. Keep the hands active and the forearms lifted away from the mat. We're going to walk the hands over to the right long side of the mat, so side stretching child's pose. As the right side of the body contracts, let the left side of the body elongate. So the lungs and the region of the heart associated with the air element, and the balanced air element helps us to feel light, mobile, and energized. Walk the hands through the center and over to the left. Stretch out nice and long through the right arm and side body. Last round of breath here. Inhale, come back to the center. And then use your next breath in to lift your hips up, coming to table. Slide the knees underneath of the hips. Breathe in one more cow tilt. Release the belly. Lift through the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press into the balls of the feet. Engage the low belly in and float the knees up. Begin to gently walk out through your knees, through your feet. Using the arms is also going to help to increase warmth in the body as well as that sense of lightness. So the arms considered an extension of the region of the heart. So see if you can notice the difference from pose to pose as energy begins to slowly build from that crocodile, then to the table, the child's pose, and now into downward dog. We're going to swivel both heels over to the right momentarily, just to again open up through the left lung. So let your heel swivel to the right. There's a little bit of extra weight in your right hand as you open through the left side body. And then swivel your heels through the center and swivel them over to the left. There's a little bit of extra weight in the left hand as you open through the right side body, the underarm. Inhale, come to the center. Take your next inhalation to bring your gaze upward to the space between your hands and begin to walk your feet forward, coming in to forward fold. Inhale as you take halfway lift with your spine. So your hands might be on shin bones or maybe placed upon those blocks as you elongate out through the crown of the head. And then as you're exhaling, fold into the legs. Bend your knees and reverse your swan dive. Arms go wide and then stretch them up and along the sides of your face. Prayer hands connecting and then bringing those prayer hands down into the heart. Inhale, circle sweep the arms around and up. Maybe take the chin slight lift, gazing upward. Prayer hands together through the heart as you bend your knees and fold your body forward over the legs. Inhale, taking one halfway lift, lift through the belly. Reach out through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, reverse with the swan dive. Bend your knees, go wide with the arms, reach long through the spine. Fingertips stretch out, prayer hands coming together and down into the heart space. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, fingertips reaching up. Prayer hands coming together through the heart as you bend your knees and fold the body forward over the legs. Inhale, taking halfway lift with the spine. Lift through the belly, reach the crown of the head. We're going to frame the right foot with the blocks as we step the left foot back into high lunge. Right knee directly over the ankle. Hands on the blocks. Inhale, keep the high lunge shape. And then as you're exhaling, you want to move your hips up and back. So you're going to rock onto the front right heel in a version of the pyramid pose. And then as you breathe in, let the right knee re-bend so you come back into lunge. And then as you exhale, lift the hips up and back again. So you're moving the hips up and back and rocking onto the right heel. Spread through the right toes. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, version of pyramid pose. Inhale, high lunge. Left hand stays on the block. Right hand rises up to right hip. Turn the belly to the right. Revolved high lunge. Now be mindful of this left shoulder. Sometimes as we twist to the right, the left shoulder pulls to the right, but we want to keep the left side chest open. Staying here, stretching that right arm up toward the sky. Revolved high lunge. Take a breath in and then exhale. Bring the right hand down. Slight bend in the left knee as we rise to warrior lunge now. Inhale, scoop the arms up the sides of the body. Draw the tailbone down as you begin to extend your arms long by the sides of the face. Take another deep breath in, activating through the palms and spreading through your fingers. Exhale, frame your front right foot. Step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Take a little gentle pedal through your knees, through your feet. Let's allow the weight to come into the right ball of the foot, maybe with some soft bend in the right knee. Inhale, send your left heel up into down dog split. Exhale, curl your left knee into the chest. Step the left foot through near the left wrist. We're going to frame the front left foot with the blocks. We begin with our high lunge pyramid flow. So inhale, high lunge, and then exhale, start to move the hips up and back, rocking onto the left heel. Inhale, returning the body once again to that high lunge position. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Extend through the left knee a bit as you rock onto the left heel. Inhale, high lunge. One more time. Exhale, pyramid position. Inhale, high lunge. Ground down into the right hand. Slide the left hand up to the hip and turn through the belly. Be mindful of the right shoulder as you turn the belly to the left. The right shoulder may end up coming with you. So you want to keep that right shoulder slightly back. Left arm might extend. So as you ground into your legs and your feet, feel a lightness through the chest, through that left arm. Exhale, left hand down. Soft bend in your back right knee. Inhale, rise up. Drawing the tailbone down, the navel in, and the low ribs in. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, frame the left foot, removing the blocks to step the left foot back into downward facing dog. Now, from this downward facing dog, we're going to take an inhalation and bring the hips forward into plank position. Let's lower the knees down. So in modified plank pose, exhale, let the elbows bend, lowering down to the chest and ribs. So we're going to inhale, curl up into cobra. And now as we exhale, we're going to move the hips to extended child's pose. So rock the hips up and back, extending through the arms as the sitting bones move to the heels. Now we're walking the hands in toward the knees to come up to stand on the knees. Inhale, arms are circling around and up, extending upward. One round of cactus arms. Exhale, bend the elbows, lift through the chest. Inhale, send your fingertips back up to the sky. Now a version of the child's pose. The arms will go open and wide. Now, two options. Hands can either go to under the shoulders or behind the low back as you fold into the legs. Child's pose. Now, we're going to come back to all fours table. So, releasing the hands from the low back if they're there, walking the hands forward. As you arrive, inhale, release the belly button and lift up through the heart. And then exhale as you take the downward facing dog. Good. Taking any movements here that are needed for the feet and the legs, and eventually finding momentary stillness in your downward facing dog. The breath by breath flow helps to invigorate the body and the mind, creating a more energized state, which ends up in increased motivation, clear thinking. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, gaze up toward the hands. Bend the knees, walk or lightly hop the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift with the spine. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, bend to the knees and reverse the swan dive. Exhale, prayer hands coming together through the heart as you once again bend the knees and hinge the body forward over the legs, coming into forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift out through the belly, reach out through the crown of the head, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll the hips out into plank. So knees up or down. Exhale, bend at the elbows, lowering down. Inhale, curling up into cobra. Exhale, extended child's pose. Rock the hips back. Elongate out through the side bodies. Inhale, start to slide the hands in and then open those arms out to the side, standing on the knees. Exhale, cactus arms, bend at the elbows, lift through the chest and chin. Inhale, arms go back up to the sky, stretching the fingertips toward the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to that child's pose position. So arms go out wide. Hands can either land under the low chest or sweep them behind the low back, palms facing up to the ceiling. Now, rising to table. So, want to release the hands, be cautious of the shoulders, slide the hands forward. Inhale as you arrive, release the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Float the knees and send the sitting bones high. Take any movements that you need and then eventually allowing yourself to settle into stillness. On your next breath in, take your gaze forward, bend your knees, walk or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale, take halfway lift with your spine, and exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, bend your knees and reverse your swan dive, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, prayer hands coming through the heart, bend the knees and fold the body forward. Inhale, take halfway lift with your spine. Exhale, left foot is going to step back. Now, before we rise up, so we're in that high lunge, we're going to bring one of the blocks to the inside of the right foot, inside of the right ankle. Spin the left heel down to the floor and inhale, rise up to warrior two. Turning your heart to the left side of the room. Now we're going to start to hinge the torso into triangles. So we're going to reach forward. And as you start to come down into triangles, start to move the right leg towards straight. Right hand can then land on the block. The block is any height. Left arm's going to stretch up toward the sky. Now draw the tailbone slightly down so that you feel a sense of connection to the center of your body, navel in, low ribs in, as you expand outward. Noticing the energy of this pose, sense of being grounded and steady through the legs, expansiveness through the chest, arms, and hands. On your next exhalation, we're going to start to bring this left arm down, adjust the right arm so we're framing the front right foot. So feel free to use your blocks to support your hands. Spin off of your back heel. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. Right foot is going back. We're going to lower the knees down to the floor. Pick up the left knee. Move the left foot off to the left in preparation for modified side plank. So this left hand can kind of walk a little forward. Extend through your right knee. Right arm's going to reach up toward the sky. And working with the arms creates that sense of lightness and energy, a sense of warmth in the body and mind. Breathe in. Last exhale here. Returning the body to neutral table. Right hand coming down, right knee coming down, readjusting the left leg. Inhale, release the belly down to the floor, lift up through the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feeling your weight shift into the right ball of the foot for down dog split. Inhale, left heel is reaching up toward the sky. Spine is long. Exhale, curl the left knee in, step the left foot through near the wrist. Now you're going to adjust the block. So we're going to bring the right heel down, and then the one block is going to come to the inside of the left foot and ankle. Inhale, we're going to cartwheel the arms around, finding warrior two pose. So left knee initially is bent as we turn the chest to the right. Inhale, begin to reach the left arm and body forward. As you start to descend the torso down into the triangle, the left leg will start to move toward straight. So that left hand is going to come down onto the block. The right arm is going to start to reach up. So we have this expansion through the heart space, the arms and the hands. You can look down maybe at the left hand or to the side of the room if that's okay on your neck. Take a nice deep breath in. Now, as you're exhaling, we're going to bring that right hand down. We're going to frame the left foot. So you may need to adjust the blocks momentarily. Spin off of your right heel. Move the block set to the side. Step the left foot back into downward dog. Breathe in. Let your knees come down light to the mat. Pick up your right knee so you can move your right foot off the mat. Walk that right hand an inch or two forward and extend through your left leg. Bring your left arm up into modified side plank position. Take a moment here. Feel your right hand kind of gently hugging into the mat as you activate through your left center palm and spread your left 5 fingers out from that center palm. Breathe in. As you exhale, left hand and left knee coming back down to the floor, adjusting the right knee. Inhale, release the belly, lift through the heart, and exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so we're gonna keep the feet somewhat wide apart, maybe even slightly wider than frontal hip bone distance apart. We're going to adjust the feet 1 inch back. We are going to come into side plank pose now. You can use the modification of modified side plank, which we just did by coming down to the knees and adjusting that left knee and foot. Otherwise, both heels are going to start to spin a bit toward the left as the weight predominantly comes into the left hand. And you start turning the body toward the right, and the right hand ends up lifting to the right hip or up to the sky. Now, the feet might stay in that sort of off center. The feet might stay in that position, or the right leg could possibly stack on top of the left, which is a little more challenging. So, staying in either of the variations for the feet. Take a breath in. If the feet are together, really squeeze the inner edges together. Exhale, lowering slowly right hand. And then beginning to spin your hips around to the center, coming into down dog. Okay, we're going to do the pose on the second side, and then we will take the knees down to the mat. So look back at the feet. You want to go a little wider than hips, and you want to inch the toes back 1 to 2 inches just to have so you have room to spin the hips. We're going to start to spin the heels to the right. Notice how the weight starts predominantly coming into that right hand. Keep the right shoulder back in neutral. And then eventually the heart and belly will start to turn to the left as your left hand comes to hip or left arm reaches up toward the sky. You can keep the feet apart, or that left foot can stack on top. of the right foot. Squeeze the inner edges of the feet together if you take that option. Take a breath in. Okay, so we're going to be really mindful of the transition out. Start to let your left foot come back down. Start to spin back to the center down dog. Okay, then we're going to lower the knees down to the floor. I can take child's pose, or you can take thunderbolt, where you come to just simply sitting on the heels. So I know this one's a little bit more challenging for the knee, so please feel free to take the child's pose. Turning your palms to face upward to the sky if you're in the thunderbolt position. Taking your last round or two of breath in child's pose or thunderbolt. Okay, and then we're going to transition first back to all fours, just momentarily. So from child's pose, rise up. From thunderbolt, lean forward. Move the legs out and in front of you, centering the pelvis about mid-mat, coming down to the spine. So if the blanket is really low, you likely can leave it there. Otherwise, if it's a little higher, you feel like it's in your way, scoot it out to the side. Okay, we're gonna twist here. So I'm gonna draw the right knee in toward the chest, hugging that right thigh in with the hands on the shin bones. We're going to open the right arm out to the right. Left leg is extended out along the floor. Now, with the left hand, we're just going to guide that right leg across the body and kind of soften in your bottom left leg a little bit. Just want to bring the body into a twist. This will give a mild stretch to the outer right hip and opening up through the chest and ribs. All right, begin to come back up to the center. Hug your right knee in. Keep it there. Hug your left leg in. Keep the left leg in while you place the right foot down on the floor. Maybe extending the right leg out. Left arm opens to the left while the right hand starts to guide the left leg across the body. So you can keep some bend in that bottom right knee if that feels better for your back. Full inhale and exhale here. All right, come back up to the center. Hug your left leg in and hug your right leg in. Rock a little bit on your low back. And when you feel ready, you can point your knees up to the sky, placing your feet flat to the floor. And you can stay in this position, which is going to encourage more wakefulness. Bound angle is another really great position if that works for your back. This pose doesn't always work for my back, so I like to be really cautious on that one. You could extend your legs out long on the mat as well. That's a more relaxed position. So, since our practice is called Energize today, just be cautious of if that drops the energy way down. So, let's just pause here and take a few final rounds of breath. Focus on the breath, a calm alertness in the body and the mind. Taking one more breath in and out here. If your legs are extended, rebending your knees one at a time, placing the feet flat. If your legs are in bound angle, point the knees back up to the sky. We're going to roll the body over to the right or left. So shifting your hips and rolling over to the side. Press your hands and rise up. Join the palms at the heart. The light within me bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.